come on in. I believe that tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be a viral person on YouTube. My celebrity status is finna take off to a whole nother level tomorrow. I might be one of the biggest comedians that people may may see on YouTube. Like God has just revealed something to me. Something's been happening to me, like in the last couple of live feeds that ain't never happened. My page has been completely like taken over. A whole bunch of people started coming in, and then at the end it'll just freeze. I don't know if this is a sign of stardom or a sign of something big is about to happen for me, but something is about to happen. Like I tell people, man, that you can watch somebody small for so long, and you will blink your eyes, and just that fast, that person will be big as hell, and you'll be like, "What the hell happened?" And I'm not trying to be big like that to be selfish for myself. Like I really don't even want the fame. I want the money so I can do something good with it. So I can show people who got money how to do good with money. I don't care about nothing else. As long as God bless me with the things that my heart desire, which is not a lot, the rest of it I'm going to give to someone else and bless somebody else. As long as my cup is overflowing, I'm going to bless the world with the overflow. Because I don't want it. I just want my cup to be full, and all the people that love me, cups are full, and everybody around me, cups are full. Like, it would not be a such thing as a person who can't get a cup and fill it up around me. Push that like button and show me some love. I know it's about to happen. I'm finna be one of the biggest comedians on YouTube. Candace Owens just reached out to me. I don't know why, but Candace Owens reached out to me. Y'all might think that that's some bullshit, right? But just imagine Candace Owens tweeting my page on her page, then pulling me into some controversy on one of her live feeds on her stories. But not a controversy as for me, but another controversy for someone else. But she identified and recognized a statement that I had said about the person. Oh, wow. Ain't it funny how you can leave one comment on somebody's page and they can pick out your intellect just off the comment? Or maybe the producers from her show done went in and seen everything that I've been doing ever since 2009, and was like, it's time for you to send him a power shot that the Democrats don't want to see happen. Like, and it's crazy. Like, Joe Rogan. What will my name be on Joe Rogan's podcast for? Like, why would they talk about me and bring me up on Joe Rogan if something big wasn't about to happen? And they were just talking about, oh, he was a homeless comedian, and they said that I was the worstest comedian that ever stepped foot in Hollywood trying to be a comedian. They said that I was so horrible that I was good. And I didn't understand it. Like, when did these people start bringing my name up and they, millions and millions of viewers, like, if they didn't want people to come to something's about to happen. Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, They even was talking about me on this podcast called Kill Tony. How can I be the funniest, worst comedian that ever tried to do stand-up comedy? I just don't understand. And they still say, oh, he funny though. He funny because the people are laughing at him, not with him. Like, that's what they was talking about. They called me the biggest flopper comedian that ever bombed. Like, they said that's all I did was bomb when I was on stage. I'm like, who told y'all that? Like, they was talking about me so bad on that little comedy podcast. I was like, damn. And it's crazy, man. Like, something big is about to happen. How you doing? Push that like button. Somebody said that they seen my TV show when I was on TV, when I was on Cops, the police scariest car chasing show. You know, I done been on Cops on 2 different episodes, and they was telling me, saying that if they didn't put me on Cops back in 1997, if they'd have put me on Cops like 5 years later, back in 2000, 2001, when they started to create the internet, I would have been famous a long time ago. That's what they said. How y'all doing? Push that like button. Keisha B, how you doing, baby girl? Keisha B is a person who's been following me for a while. How y'all doing? Push that like button. Show me some love. You know, it's funny how I'm being shadow banned, net neutralized. When Donald Trump just signed an executive order to stop this shit, YouTube is still net neutralizing people, stopping them from building audiences. But then, all of a sudden, my name start coming up on major people platforms. They've been talking about me. Why would you want to talk about me? Talk about me trying to build a homeless shelter. And they was laughing, talking about he trying to build a homeless shelter. But guess what? He's broke. I'm like, wow, for real? That's the way y'all feel about me? Instead of trying to say that, y'all, at least he's trying to come up with something positive, they want to say that I'm trying to scam people and be negative. Ain't that something? But I know something's about to happen. I don't know when, but I really feel like it's going to happen tonight or in the morning. I'm going to wake up. Yeah, my whole YouTube channel going to be blow the fuck up. Like, and just know, man, that if it ever did happen, I'm going to be the same person. Ain't nothing going to change. Nothing going to change. I'm just going to take the light, I'm going to take the torch, and I'm going to run with it. Put some gasoline on it. I'm going to shoot a movie. I'm going to do everything that I'm supposed to do as an entry-level viral celebrity to build my momentum to take my career off to the highest level. And everything I do is going to be independent. So it's either I'm going to work for the money or I'm going to raise the money from my positive community to help me get it going. But if I can go make the money myself and come back and invest into it myself, I wouldn't ask nobody to help me. I would do it on my own. My sole mission, to build a safe place to help other people, to bless people that can't help themselves. How you doing? Push that like button. They say people like me, the government kill people like me because I'm trying to unite people and give people empowerment that they can live and do better for themselves. I believe that it's gonna happen, Snag, soon for you, business, you here, no matter what. Rather it's one person or 100 people. You know, I already help 1, 2 people, every day in some type of way. That ain't never been a problem. That's been a problem with the world, and that's what I tell people. Sometimes, we probably can't help 10, 15, 20 people at one time, but we can help one. We can help at least somebody. If everybody would reach back and reach out and help at least somebody, we'll be all right, right? But a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people like to look back and see people suffer so it make them feel empowered that they doing worse or better than them. Like, as long as they know they doing better than them, they all right, huh? So that's fucked up. That's a fucked up way to think about it. But just imagine if you was down and out and somebody looked at you and did the same thing to you. Karma's real, man, and people don't really think about karma until they find themselves in the same situation and people doing them worse than what they did other people. Because it will. It can happen. Like, and it's not that hard. What's up, man? How you doing? Push that like button. Show me some love. It's like the more I get to talking about building a homeless shelter and helping people get on their feet and helping people change their lives and giving people an opportunity to get a little education, to get a trade, save some money, get a credit card, like build people up. What's the use of helping somebody if you can't really help them? Like, if you can't help them be just like you, why would you want to help them? You wasting your time and their time too. But all these people, oh, we helping people over here. We helping me, and you ain't helping shit. You distracting people. You being a part of the system of distraction. So as long as they distracted, they'll never have something for themselves. Do anybody know what I'm talking about? Or you think I'm just talking? Keisha B. All right. A lot of people don't like me. They say I try to be too positive. I don't understand what too positive is when the world that we live in is too negative. Everybody is trying to come up with a justifiable excuse to accept something that's wrong. I asked a question a while ago, and people, in so many words, got upset with me because I asked, was an illegal is all illegals should all illegals be treated the same? In my opinion, all illegals should be treated the same. If they caught and arrested by ISIS and they here illegally, they all should be treated the same. Am I wrong? I'm supposed to have a different opinion for somebody who's been here illegally for 10, 15, 20 years and they never took the step to try to start the process legally to live here, and they've been making money the whole while that they've been here, living and surviving like everybody else. Like, so for me to speak on this type of issue, people look at me like I'm not American and I shouldn't even have an opinion on this issue. And for all the Americans, why shouldn't we? Like, if a person here is if they here illegally, then that makes them an illegal criminal. Illegal is illegal, and if you are illegal, then you are a criminal. Why can't we fathom that as American citizens? Anybody that's here in America, if you're not here legally, then you're here illegally. And if you ever get caught for being here illegally, should we have a special condition? Get caught, been here, had an opportunity to start to walk into the immigration place and start paying the fees, should have an opportunity to tell their boss, listen, I'm here illegally, and the only way I can make this work for both of us, if you can help me pay for my citizenship. So I will work for you. I just need this amount of money to start the process. And every month I need to go back in there with this amount of money to keep the process going. And I got to do this for 10, 15 years to prove to the U.S. government that I can be in a productive U.S. citizen, come here to work and participate and provide for myself and my family without having to use no government assistance, without needing no help. I can get out here and find a job and survive and take care of myself and get on my feet like an American citizen should. Like, but these people can't agree to that. They can't agree to that term. And a lot of them come over here and really get food stamps, American housing assistance, and they illegal. And how come our government is giving illegal people the funds for legal people, legal Americans? Why? Why are we allocating our funds to other resources that's not benefiting the American people? And when I get to bringing up this type of conversation and talking, don't nobody want to engage with me. I just had a question and I asked this question: are all illegal people the same? Should we treat all illegal people the same? Are all illegals the same? And that's like a real, how do you say, down to earth, real question that we got to answer. As American citizens, we need to answer this question because we can't be upset at ISIS for arresting all these illegal immigrants, even what they call collateral immigrants. How is you a collateral? If you here illegally, then you're illegal and you are a criminal, and most of them have committed some type of criminal offense inside of our court system, even if it's just jaywalking. And if you committed an offense since you've been here and you still ain't started the process of trying to be an American citizen now, are you proving to us that you're trying to be a productive citizen in our society? No. You're proving to us that you know how to dodge our system, dodge our legal authority, and do what you want to do and live how you want to live in our country. Like, no. Do you think that that's true or not? Oh, I'm just talking right now. So all illegals should be treated the same, right? Do you agree or disagree that all illegals should be treated the same? So you don't want to answer my question? We said yes. Okay, thank you. You said all illegals should be treated the same. Okay, so if they arrest an illegal that committed a big crime and then they arrested a whole bunch of illegals that didn't commit no crimes, but they here illegally, should they be treated the same? We shouldn't have no special treatments for people that's here illegally when they came here illegally, and that makes them an illegal person in our country. So that's an automatic criminal. And you know, a lot of people look at their family members and say, my family member ain't a criminal. Well, he is if he's here illegally, if she's here illegally. And I really feel like, as American people, that Donald Trump should write an executive order that if anyone get caught housing and abating an illegal immigrant in their home or in their workplace or their work establishment, like the people that hire illegal immigrants, they should be arrested, fined, and imposed up to 1 year in jail for illegal for what they call it, if you want to say, for aiding and abetting and extorting justice for an illegal immigrant. They should charge people and arrest them and fine them for hiring illegal immigrants. Do you think that that's a good idea? Is it hard to get U.S. citizenship? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. If you walk through the door and pay your fees, ask for the application, pay the fee up front, and you can pay the priority fee and move through the line faster. If you got money, that's what all these other people do from all these other countries. They pay the priority fee and they move through the line a lot faster. But you still got to prove to the U.S. government for up to 10 to 15, 20 years that you're capable of being a productive U.S. citizen. And they don't just let you just come in and do it in 2-3 years. No, you got to come in and prove your citizenship. and pay your fees every month through your immigration attorney. Your immigration attorney gonna get paid. He get a kick down. The immigration judge get a kick down. All the system get a kick down for you being trying to come in illegally. And what they do is they give you a green card. They give you an automatic setup to get a business loan. You get all this that a lot of American people can't even get, and they've been here all their life for you coming through the gate the legal way to try to be an American citizen. The government is going to assist you, help you, give you aid, everything. AJ, I'm busting my ass. And they're getting food stamps up to yin yang. That's real. They receiving the benefits that the American people supposed to receive for being here illegally. I can't even get food stamps. They say they ain't got enough funds available, and I'm an American citizen. Why they ain't got none available? Because they allocating all our food stamps to illegal immigrants. That ain't cool. Okay, got you, bro. Keisha, my fiance is Jamaican. He had to take the step to become a citizen. So everyone should have to do it as well. Exactly. And if you beat them to the punch and go and start the process before they catch up with you, then you ain't gonna have nothing to worry about. You get your green card, you get your working permit, you get your visa, and you can be straight in America. It's just about following the rules, just like getting your driver's license. It's so many people that know how to drive and riding around with no driver's license. And in their mind, they tell themselves they don't need a driver's license. Why? Because I already know how to drive. Until they dumb ass get caught. Now they done put themselves in a situation where they got $1,000 fine for driving around without a driver's license that has to get paid before you can even qualify to go to the DMV and get a driver's license. Then you have to get your driver's license in a timely manner before you go back to court for the traffic ticket of driving without a driver's license. And if you come back with a driver license, you still gonna pay a fine, but the judge gonna reduce the fine because you came back with a driver's license on time. Like if not, most people that get their driver license end up going to rush to get their driver license for being dumb for riding around with no driver license. Which way you want to be? Like they tell you it's one way to come in legally, but you try the other 15 steps, the other 15 ways to come in illegally. And when you get caught for being here illegally, you want us to have some compassion for you. I don't think so. Not as an American person. And I'm out here trying to get opportunity for my goddamn self. And the reason why I can't get no opportunity because they allocating all our opportunity funds to goddamn illegal immigrants. So what do I supposed to say about this as an American citizen? Hassan, I agree. Maybe the immigration officers should be more strict at the border and airports. Oh, we ain't got to worry about none of that. Yeah, these people, man, you really don't understand what's finna go on. For the next 6 weeks, they going on a rampage. And a whole bunch of people, even the collateral people, that wasn't even that they really wasn't gonna even be looking for, gonna get caught up. And when you get caught being here with being an illegal citizen, then you should be deported with the rest of your people. What up, man? You get another $40 potato? No, man, I'm going back to Vegas. We're gonna get the $40 potato when I go back to Vegas. A rampage next 3 years. Man, they scooping up people left and right. All kind, and it's the thing. Illegal immigrant ain't just Mexicans. Y'all just got this one category of people locked in your brain, like, but California been wanting to get rid of all the illegal Mexicans for years and years. All especially and the Mexican California population, the real citizen Hispanic population want to get rid of all the illegal immigrants for years and years. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's more racist Mexicans against Mexicans than it is white people that don't like Mexicans. But I can't be the bearer of news to tell y'all that. Y'all won't believe me. But y'all hear it from another race, y'all believe it. What's up, mommy?
What's up?
Why are you laying in the bed fully made up?
The first time I put on makeup was the day. The first time I can put some makeup around my eyes, and I ain't took it off.
Well, you need to go take that shit off, or you accidentally fall asleep and roll over on your pillow, and you mess your damn sheets in bed. You had to get up and wash your stuff. Had red foundation all over. Why you put red on?
But I want red.
Why
And
would?
this is white right off.
Ooh, don't do that. When you put your finger on your lips, you just see all the wrinkles around your lips.
Hey, man, I'm getting old. What can I say, baby?
I can see it.
I'm not young no more.
Damn.
Damn, it happens.
Now you can't get no free rides down the street. Niggas rolling right by you, blowing their horn. Get out the way, old lady. Get your ass out the damn street.
Yeah, I'm at that point now. What can I say?
I remember the days niggas used to.
I lived a good life.
I remember the days niggas used to stop in the middle of the tracks and hey, lady, you need a ride. What you doing walking down the street? Now you.
Them days over. I was young then.
Now them niggas trying to run you over walking down the street. Get out the damn way.
Ain't no young tender no more. I gotta jump out the way before they hit me and knock me on down the street. What can I say? I lived a good life. I don't owe a motherfucker nothing. Shit. If I had a mom, I can say I lived a good life. I ain't gonna cry about it. As long as my babies is okay when I leave this world.
There's a big Mexican racist war in California now. Because there's a lot of Mexicans that's been born here and they done conquered, they family done conquered, and they feel like they way better than the Mexicans from Mexico. Because they ain't have to never go through that type of stuff. And them the ones that run for public office, and them the ones that's, that's in the upper salons of California lifestyle. And they really look down on the lower class Mexicans. And they can't stand them. They can't stand them. I done seen 3-4 upper class Mexicans today look down on lower class Mexicans. And it's like, man, why do they do their own people like that? We are all conquered and divided. And they program us to look down on each other. For the ones that have something, they program us to look down on. And the ones that do have, that don't have nothing, they deprogram to not even know what the fuck going on. Like, it's crazy. But AJ can back me up on that shit.
Yeah, bring me some. Get my little cup. It's up in the cup. It's in the, yeah.
I had a customer that committed murder-suicide. I had a customer that just committed murder-suicide. He had 4 houses. And he had met a girl at a club. And he let her move into one of his houses. and she had an older son.
What is he talking about? He on live. Oh, it's talk comedy show. No, it ain't comedy. It's a talk.
An older son,
about real
big,
life.
and
Come on, Trump. You know. Oh, that's his boy. Yeah, you can talk. Yeah,
and he be.
Is he come around and
He let the girl. We tell her
Mm-hmm.
she gotta stop talking. She's
Yeah.
interrupting my whole thing, my conversation.
And when they run, his clientele. Oh, God,
So what happened
I can't
was
open this.
he had let the lady stay in his house, and she let her son move in. And her whole intentions was to take over this man's house and take it. But this man had 4 houses, he had boats, he had cars, he had lowriders, he had all kind of shit going for himself. And he's been single for years, and he had told himself he would never find himself in a relationship with a woman, because the women, all the women that he ever had tried to take him down through there in some type of way, and he ended up spending a bunch of money on them. So he was like, man, I ain't fucking with none of these bitches. I'm just gonna keep it real with them, and if they can't keep it real with me, I ain't fucking with them. So he met this woman, and he let her move in because he fell for the oldest trick in the book. He said he woke up one night around 11:30, 12 o'clock. She had called him crying, and he was like, baby, you okay? And she was hysterical, and she was crying. And come to find out, she was right outside his house. He opened the front door, and she's sitting there crying, and she got all her bags just sitting on the porch, talking about she ain't got nowhere to go. And his dumb ass let her in and started staying with him. So because he was the type of man that he was, and he had other women and he had other shit going on, he felt like he got shit he want. But he noticed somebody was tampering with his stuff. So what he did was he put a secret camera out in his garage, and he got footage of her son going through his shit. So he goes back over there to confront her about his son going through his shit and showing the footage, and she jumped flip mode on him. Oh, you ain't you can't tell nobody, they can't go through nothing that's just sitting there. And he like, man, listen, anything that's just sitting there, this is my shit. And if anybody go through my shit without asking me for it, that's fucking with my shit. And I don't want nobody in my shit when I ain't here. And so she got to acting like he was talking too aggressive to her. I don't like the way you talking to me. He like, what the fuck you mean? If you don't like the way I'm talking to you about how I want my house to be, then I think you need to start to reevaluate where you finna start living. And she said, you got me fucked up. I ain't going no damn where. And he was like, bitch, matter of fact, since you said like that, you can pack your shit and get the fuck out of here tonight. And all of a sudden, she jumped flip mode. Fuck you, nigga. You bitch motherfucker. You bitch ass nigga. And that shit made my boy snap. And he went like he was finna like choke her ass or something. And she ran out the room. Oh, you tried to hit me. And she called the police. The police come over there. The police asked him to leave his own house to keep down conflict, so it won't be no issue. He won't go to jail. So he ended up leaving. The next day, she went to the courthouse and got a restraining order on him. And when he came to the house, she served him the restraining order and told him that he ain't allowed at his own house. He need to leave. He can't get nothing out of his house. And if he don't leave, she gonna call the police. So in the process of him telling her that, her son come from behind her shoulder and was like, yeah, you heard what my mama said, bitch ass nigga. Leave. Leave right now. And that nigga said, man, I'll fuck your little young ass up, nigga. Who the fuck you think you is, nigga? And they ended up getting into a little tussle, and her son came out with a knife and stabbed the man 4 times. So after he got stabbed, he staggered back, he ran back to his truck, he pulled off and left. This dumbass lady and her son felt like whatever just transpired, they didn't do shit. They felt like that nigga got exactly what he deserved for coming over here. My boy did not even call the police. No, he didn't call the police. He did not call the police. He went to the hospital, and they ended up keeping him in the hospital for like 4 or 5 nights. On the 5th night, he checked himself out the hospital. He went home, he put on all black, and he drove back to that house. He didn't even knock on the door. He kicked the door clean off the hinges. The girl's son was laying on the couch. He shot him 2 times with an AR-15 in between the head and right below the chin. He shot him twice in the head. Bow, bow, 2 headshots. Then he ran upstairs. The lady came to the stairway. Oh my God, what's going on? And he shot her like 12 times with the AR-15. Bow, 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 bitch, bow, 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 bow. He overkilled her ass. He overkilled her. Then he went back downstairs and shot the son 6, 7 more times. Bow, 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 bow. Then walked outside, sat on the porch, took the AR-15 and put it to his head and blew his brains out. Bow. What the fuck? Nigga, why you kill yourself? Man, even though he was finna lose it all, he decided to go on and end it all right then and there. And that was fucked up. Man, people don't understand what this world is consistent of and the type of people that's living in it. And that some people work hard for the shit that they have, and if they ever get to the point where they gonna lose it all, them niggas gonna blow the fuck up. Somebody finna die. Like, a lot of white people is known for that shit. Like, white people, it's in their nature. If you fuck with their money, you fuck with their family, them motherfuckers will kill your ass. Like, it's 2 things. Like, you can fuck with their wife, but don't fuck with their kids and don't fuck with their money. Them white folks will blow your ass up, will come back and kill your ass. You can fuck their wife all day, but they kids and they goddamn money, they will blow the fuck up over. Like, but their wife, they wouldn't give a 2 fuck. You can fuck their wife, cheat on their wife, cheat on them, they wouldn't give a damn about their wife. But the goddamn kids and they goddamn money, white folks will kill, will die for. Like, y'all better be careful, leaving them fucking with these white folks, man, fucking with their money and fucking with their kids. Oh, you will die. Like, you white folks kill you quicker than a motherfucker. That's real. I know it is. See, you know that's a fact. He like, man, that's true fact, man. White people, they blow up over the littlest shit. But fuck with their money. That's why they kill their wives, and they'll blow up some shit. They ain't gonna fuck with their kids. They don't fuck with their kids. They kill their wives and then they kill themselves and they leave their kids because the kids gonna inherit the insurance money. But don't fuck with them white folks. Don't fuck with their family and don't fuck with their money. Them white folks will kill your ass, especially in America. I know like 12 white people that went out called crash. They like crashed out. I know like 12 white people. I was in prison with them. All them motherfuckers crashed out over their family and their money. I remember this one white dude. He killed his boss, the foreman of the company, and the CEO of the company, all because the CEO told him to fire his ass because he was black. And they had to use a black manager, his boss, to fire him. They ain't never fired nobody at this company. All the white people done did all kind of shit. But this nigga had some little bitty ass bullshit. He got into it with one of the white people, and they locked it and they fired him. They felt like he disrespected him. But that nigga went to his car and came. He shot his boss, he shot his supervisor, and he shot the CEO of the company. Killed all three of their ass. I'm pissed. I can't. I know a Mexican lady that's married to an illegal immigrant, to an illegal Mexican. And she says it all the time. Well, my husband ain't got his paperwork, but I got mine. So if anything came down to her, and her husband is the breadwinner, so he done helped her buy a house. He done helped her buy all kind of cars. So if they deport him, she ain't gonna be worried about her husband. And she done got a BBL. She got a little waist surgery. She got all the elements from her husband. So if they come and hell no, she gonna have another husband by the next week in Vegas, eloped and married. Like I do. There's so many men waiting to tell this lady, "Will you marry me? I got my citizenship. Will you marry me?" Do anybody know what I'm talking about? Hell yeah, that's some real shit though. Not like that. Okay. I'm finna I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna call you back in a minute, all right?
How many packs of cigarettes you got?
Like two.
Two.
Yeah.
Call me back tonight so we can talk.
I got you. I got you. I love you.
I love you more. All right.
Look at yeah. Damn. Oh, that's a brand new Honda. I thought that was an Audi. It looked like an Audi, but it's a Honda. Honda Accord. No, that's a Honda Civic. That motherfucker big. It look big as the Honda Accord now. How y'all doing? Push that like button. If you would like to donate Okay, I'm gonna start my poll, and we finna talk about this homeless shelter. Do anybody want to help me build my homeless shelter? Help me purchase the land through a small donation. I got like 10,000 subscribers. If I can get all 10,000 of my subscribers to donate me $5, I can purchase a nice piece of land in California to be able to start this homeless shelter project. Not everybody, but if I can get what? If I got 10,000, 8,000, just say if I got 5,000 people that donated me $5, that would help me make this happen. To a profit to the investors, but if you hear me out and listen to my plan, you guarantee a profit. And it's like, and you see the money. I'm gonna show you and break it down to you, and it's gonna be lucrative. But don't count my money. Don't count my money. And I tell people that I'm here to help people, and my wealth will grow substantially. But when my wealth grows substantially, I'm still spending my money to help people. And I wouldn't deserve to be able to live a little bit better for myself. And my desire is to live better. It's just a 3-story container home that I'm gonna build from the ground up by myself. Like, I can't afford to pay nobody to build this for me. I'm gonna build it myself, custom built. It ain't your dream home unless you customize it and build it. So I be hearing all these people talking about they done moved into their dream home and it was already built before they moved in it. Like, how's that your dream home, nigga? You didn't build that shit. You didn't customize, sit at the table with an architect and have it customized. That's your dream home, nigga. So if you just living in a home that you just finally got a chance to buy, don't never don't never accept that as the final destination. This is not your dream home, but it can get you there if you utilize it right. This can help you get to your dream home, and you will have a dream home, one that you fully customize to your expectations. How y'all doing? Push that like button. Say my audience ain't rising tonight. Somebody famous, more famous than me, is live right now. That's why I don't have a lot of people in my feed. But remember, I let this whole day go by and I did not even get dressed. I still got on my sleeping pajamas and I let a whole day go by. Oh my God. And I need to make a credit card payment. I need to make a credit card payment. I almost slipped. I think I did. I think it's too late. I really think it's too late. Ooh, I almost slipped on my credit card payment. right on time. Woo. I had to make a credit card payment. I almost slipped. Today the 28th. I almost forgot. I manually do everything. Boy, my mind be ooh. I've been sitting here going live, and I knew I had something to do. But the power of technology, online banking. Did y'all hear about that program, AI DeepSeek, that plummeted the stock market today? I've been hearing about DeepSeek for a minute, and I've been trying to figure out a way to invest into it, and it's been locked out. I can't find a way. I couldn't find a way to invest into DeepSeek, and I was hearing about it for 2, 3 weeks. Then all of a sudden, it just hit, and I was like, "Damn!" Alrighty.
denying people their history is a powerful method of oppression, particularly for Black individuals and communities. It is the Black history that we know was not written by the Blacks.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Walsh.
I'm Callahan Walsh.
And this is America's Most Wanted. We are back again tonight with a lineup of dangerous fugitives that we really need your help to find.
The AMW catch counter is currently at 1,191 catches because of... your tips. And I know that tonight, with your help, we can get that number even higher.
Now, as always, we have our team of investigators, local and state police, and the FBI, all standing by for your information about these cases. Please, send us your tips, and don't forget you can remain anonymous. Let's make the world a much smaller place for these scumbags. So let's get right to it. A horrifying double murder and police shootout rocks a quiet Wisconsin farm town, and the man suspected to be behind it all disappears without a trace. Authorities now desperately need your help to find him.
Jefferson County.
Happy birthday, dear Daddy. My parents were Jim and Nedra Lemke. They were high school sweethearts and had been together ever since then. They had 5 kids. I am the second oldest. I have a brother, Joe. There's myself, my sister, Amanda, and a brother, Jacob and Josh.
Both of my parents were very involved in the community their entire lives, very involved in the church, very involved in their kids' lives. They worked with a youth group, taking a lot of foster kids to the home. As much as my parents were known for helping people, my uncle, Kevin, my mom's brother, was a black sheep of the family.
As the son-in-law of Jim and Nedra Lemke, I am married to their daughter, Amanda. My wife, Amanda, does obviously still struggle with talking about the past and trying to make sense of what happened and why it happened. I would see Kevin every Christmas Eve over at the family farm property. Kevin was just kind of that tough guy persona, hunting and fishing, and he'd talk about pickup trucks and guns and drinking, and he had troubles with the law and drugs and alcohol.
He was that uncle that you didn't talk to because you felt uncertain around him.
He was always a very intimidating personality for me. He had an intense just persona about him. His parents, my grandparents, lived on a family farm. There's about 40 acres of farmable land and horses, pigs, a couple cows, just your rural Wisconsin farmer. Kevin, the oldest son, was always the executor of the will. As my grandfather got older, my mom was the one taking them to all their doctor's appointments, and she was the primary caregiver managing their health and managing the farm.
Due to all of the support my mother had given to my grandfather over the years, my grandfather decided to make my mother the executor over my uncle.
As my grandfather got closer to death, the conversations between my mother and Kevin became more heated. He had thought the farm was going to be his.
In June 2020, my grandfather Verdell passed.
When my grandfather passed, my dad asked me if I would be carrying a gun at the funeral. Being a former Green Beret, I spent 8 years in the Army Special Forces. He knows I have guns, so I asked him why. My dad, for a quote, said, because Kevin's going to be there, and I'm not sure how he's going to act. So I agreed to do that. It was definitely a gigantic red flag of kind of where the tension in the relationship was.
4 days after Vidal's funeral, Nedra reaches out to her brother Kevin about some rather routine chores she wanted to do at their parents' farm. Jim and Nedra arrive at the farm later that evening, but something seems off. They notice several broken windows. At 5:48 p.m., they call 911 to report a potential burglary.
Jefferson County 911.
Hi there. I'm taking care of my parents' house, and there's windows broken out, windows open.
Please don't go in because we don't know if someone's still in there.
All right.
That would be the last phone call she ever made. What the couple don't realize is Nedra's brother, Kevin Anderson, is stationed inside the farmhouse at the second-story window, armed with a hunting rifle. He fires 2 fatal shots. The first one hitting Nedra in the abdomen, and then a second shot hitting Jim. 12 minutes after Nedra's 911 call, a Jefferson County Sheriff's deputy arrives in response. He notices the bodies of Nedra and Jim. Recognizing there may be an active shooter, he seeks cover behind his vehicle.
595.
Just as the deputy is radioing for backup,
Shots fired at the residence. Shots fired. Shots fired.
not knowing the shooter's line of sight, the deputy makes a run across the property away from the home.
Upper window.
The deputy seeks cover in a nearby ditch with tall grass.
595. I have a female laying down next to the vehicle. One male in the back.
Minutes pass while the deputy waits in the ditch. Once he sees backup arriving, he radios that he's making his way towards them.
581 coming to you.
While the deputy was seeking cover, police believe Kevin Anderson intentionally lit his parents' house on fire. Most likely as a diversion. After the home burned, officers descend on the property and discover Nedra and Jim's deceased bodies. Law enforcement search the property and find no signs of Kevin Anderson. Later, forensics inspected the remnants of the home and found no evidence of the shooter's remains or the hunting rifle. A manhunt was led through the surrounding rural farm areas, which includes dense woods and marshland. They were unsuccessful in locating the suspect. It's believed he escaped to another state or has fled to the Wisconsin wilderness.
All right, now we've got a lot to unpack in this case. Later, we're going to talk to Jim and Nedra Lemke's children about this horrible murder. But right now, the focus is on where Kevin Anderson could be.
Authorities believe Anderson has likely fled Jefferson County, but based on the fact he's an avid outdoorsman, it's highly likely that he's somewhere in the woods.
How far is Sumner to Canada?
It's about an hour west of Milwaukee and about 500 miles south of the Canadian border, but the northern parts of Wisconsin and the surrounding states are heavily wooded and can be pretty remote, making them perfect hiding places for Anderson.
Reminds me of Ted Kaczynski, you know, the Unabomber that hid in the woods for so many years. Well, if you're a hunter or outdoorsman in the north woods of Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Michigan, please keep a lookout for this creep.
Kevin Anderson is now 65 years old with brown hair and blue eyes. He's 6 feet tall and when last seen weighed 200 pounds. If you see Anderson, do not approach him. He's considered armed and very dangerous. Call or go to our website, 866-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com.
Coming up next, we'll learn even more about this story when we return. We talk to 2 of Jim and Nedra's children and hear what they have to say about their uncle, the man police say allegedly killed their parents. Plus, in North Carolina, one of the biggest gold heists in the history of the country baffles authorities. Can you send the tip that will close this case for good? And later on, a gang of thieves break into a Southern California pet store, stealing $100,000 worth of French bulldogs. Now, we need your help to find these guys. And remember, you can make a difference.
Push that light button.
Welcome back. As As we just saw in the summer of 2020, police in Sumner, Wisconsin, responded to a call of a potential burglary at the Anderson family farm. And when an officer arrived, he was immediately met by the sight of Nedra and Jim Lemke's bodies and an onslaught of gunfire. While the officer ran for cover, Kevin Anderson allegedly set the house on fire and fled, and he hasn't been seen since. Let's hear about the charges Kevin Anderson is facing and what Nedra and Jim's children have to say about it.
Shots fired, President! Shots fired!
Jefferson County Assistant District Attorney filed charges against Kevin Anderson, including 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide.
I was contacted by my oldest brother, Joe. Joe goes, he just says they're gone. And he just said it like 3 times in a row. And he was like, the farmhouse is gone. And they're gone.
It's been 3.5 years now since this all happened. And I mean, I still pretty much think about it every day. And I know it weighs on my wife, and I know it weighs on my boys too. We don't know where he is. We don't know if he has any interest in us or in our lives, or if he is alive, is he keeping tabs on us? We have no idea. And that's just really why I really want Kevin to be found, so I can let my guard down and enjoy my family.
When I think about that they're gone, I'm sad about the way they died, the needless pain. I miss my mother's hugs. You can't get that back.
Absolutely heartbreaking story for all involved. And Jim and Nedra's children, Josh and Jen, are here tonight. Thank you for having
You
me.
still can't prove that it was him.
You know, after
You
the
just-
tragic
somebody
loss
shot
of this,
and
how are
burned
you
the
both
house
coping?
down.
I think there's a lot of anticipation because he hasn't been found.
It's frustrating.
Frustrating.
I'd like to
yeah.
see it resolved.
You need justice.
What do you miss most about your parents?
Their presence. That's an easy one for me because right before they passed, I got engaged, so they weren't at the wedding. You don't have a dad to talk to about the first purchase of your house or a mom to talk to about your first kid.
I waited my whole life to be a grandparent. It's a special job.
Yeah. I think my dad is my biggest validator. Now there's a big gap with a massive unknown out there.
What about you, Jen?
Just the family dynamic of being able to see them. I can't call them and ask them questions anymore.
What would it do for your family if we caught Kevin?
None of the family feels very safe. We all have some type of safety protection or measures, and it just kind of sits in the back of my mind. I don't want him out there to hurt somebody else. I would like resolution and justice for my parents, and I'd like to make sure that he's, taken care
Off
of and
those
put away.
streets, because he's a loose cannon, isn't he? He's dangerous.
Sure.
It's so sad you have to look over your shoulder for that creep. But I hope our audience is going to help you tonight and catch this dirtbag.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for being here.
God bless.
Kevin Anderson is 65 years old and 6 feet tall with brown hair and blue eyes. When he was last seen, he weighed 200 pounds. He's an avid outdoorsman and hunter and was very familiar with the wooded areas that surrounded the family farm. If you're camping or hunting and you see this guy or have any information about this case, don't hesitate. Call us at 866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com.
Coming up next, an extremely elaborate gold heist in North Carolina. But authorities were stumped. Who were they and how did they do it? We'll learn all about this intriguing case when we return. And later on, 14-year-old Abel Acosta walked into a Texas gas station and allegedly opened fire, killing 3 other teenagers. Well, he's on the run, and we need your tips to find this punk. Now, all night we'll need your help with these local crimes happening all across the country. Crimes could be happening in your town. Just after 1 a.m. at the Top Dog Pet Store in Gardena, California last November. Shocking surveillance shows the gang breaking in and heading for the prized pets. And while alarms sound and the dogs bark, these suspects drag the dogs' cages straight to their getaway vehicle an unmarked white Chevy cargo van with California plates 8T18982 that was waiting in the parking lot. The burglars managed to steal 12 of the purebred dogs, including puppies, worth almost $100,000. Look at these dirtbags flinging these innocent dogs into the van. They also stole $2,000 in cash from the register. And all of it happened in under 5 minutes. If you know anything about these dog nappers, no tip is too small. Call us or go to our website right now. 866-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com. Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. This next case comes from North Carolina, where a big rig carrying almost $5 million in gold was ambushed on a remote stretch of I-95. By the time the authorities arrived at the scene, the gold bars were gone, and the only thing that remained were a whole lot of questions. Let's see how they pulled it off.
In my years as sheriff, this is definitely one of the most bizarre cases that has ever occurred. Armed guards being robbed, the gold is taken. It was something that you would think would come out of a movie.
March 5th, 2015, motorists are driving along Route 95 in Wilson County, North Carolina. Route 95 is a major north-south freeway that runs along the east coast of the U.S., from Miami all the way to northern Maine.
A semi-truck was traveling down the interstate with the 2 security guards, the driver and the passenger. They worked for an armored carrier company, and they were transporting this gold and silver from a refinery down here in South Florida, and they were heading up to Massachusetts to deliver the gold. And the business would take the gold and melt it down and make jewelry or coins. This is pretty common.
The driver and the passenger, they smelled a strong odor which got to them to where they felt like they needed to bomb it. The driver then pulled the truck over to the right shoulder of the road.
By the time they made it out of the truck, it was too late. Presumably they were setting up these construction cones to make it as though this was just a normal semi-truck broke down on the side of the road and a repair van had just pulled up and was going to repair it.
They take over 6 barrels of gold and silver and place it inside the minivan.
The subjects who robbed the truck took a total of 10 gold bars, talking about 275 pounds of gold, as well as some silver coins worth $4.5 million to $5 million.
People start calling in some very bizarre sights along the side of the freeway.
911, what's your emergency? There's some gentlemen at a truck with handcuffs that are at mile marker 114.
Looks like they've got some sort of guard uniform on. They've got their hands inside behind their back, trying to fight people down. They call the police.
When the sheriff's office and law enforcement showed up out there, they find these 2 uniformed security guards zip-tied, and they tell this elaborate story of how they were robbed on the side of the highway of gold bars. It was the 4th largest gold heist in the country. The story just didn't make sense, and the only plausible answer at the time was, this has got to be an inside job. We're combing through all the driver and the passengers' phone records, bank records. I mean, we were really trying to flush out this possibility that this was an inside job. 2 security guards agreed to take a polygraph to clear their name, and both of them passed with flying colors. They had nothing to do with the robbery at all. Leaves you with this dead-end conclusion of, how would anyone even know what was on this truck? The 2 security guards weren't involved, so it really just made it challenging to find out who really is behind this operation.
Wow, what a heist. You got a big rig transporting an extremely large amount of gold. Now, Kelly, wouldn't they use an armored car, safer, smaller?
I mean, you'd think so, but an armored car is going to get a lot of attention. But there are so many big rigs out there, it'd be a lot easier for them to blend in. The other advantage is that a big rig can go for over 2,000 miles without refueling. When you're transporting such an expensive amount of goods, every time you make a stop, it's an opportunity that you could get robbed. Just last year at the Toronto Pearson International Airport, a cargo container with $17.2 million in gold and cash was stolen from a warehouse, and that case still remains unsolved.
It's crazy, but in 2024, gold heists are still happening. It sounds like something out of the Wild West.
It's definitely less common these days.
Now authorities had no idea who was behind the big rig heist or how they did it. We'll find out more about who authorities say was behind this record-breaking heist. And we'll talk to a reformed jewel thief to get his take on the case. Then later we continue our look at robberies of every variety, like these creeps who cops say followed a man and his son home from the bank, and this serial bank robber in Arizona. But right now we're looking back at a Florida bank robber and jail escapee that we busted way back in 1988, Mark Austin Goodman.
Right after last week's program, Mark Austin Goodman, wanted for at least 10 bank robberies in Oklahoma, was found in jail under an alias. He was busted by fellow inmates, but while in handcuffs, he escaped. His 7th escape from custody. Goodman has been a fugitive since March 4th when he walked out of the Pinellas County Jail in Florida. He'd actually convinced an officer he was scheduled for release. At 4:06 Monday afternoon, 18 hours after his escape, Goodman was arrested by Jupiter Police and finally admitted his true identity. 45 minutes later, he was returned to the custody of the United States Marshals.
Now, with your help, we'll catch even more of these dirt bags. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is a Vive Organic Wellness Shot. It's filled with powerful organic superfoods and never anything artificial. Vive Organic. Give wellness shots a shot.
Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. Police say that an elaborate ambush of a truck carrying almost $5 million in gold was successful. But who were the thieves and how did they do it? Let's find out.
The FBI evidence response team is assigned to conduct a search of that truck. When we examined the interior of the vehicle, we noticed that there was a hole in the floor of the cab. And the hole was probably about ½ an inch in diameter. And from that hole, we could see that it led to a larger box. Tucked in very discreetly, we found a fire extinguisher that appeared to be modified. We also found an electronic control unit, and there was also a GPS tracker. What we suspect happened, they were able to remotely activate the fire extinguisher and cause that odor to occur within the cab of the truck and force them to pull over.
10 months later, in January 2016, we got a call from a woman who had told us that she was in a relationship with a man that bragged that he had robbed a truck up in North Carolina and got an incredible amount of gold. She even saw the gold herself and the money and the guns. The woman identified the man as a guy by the name of Adalberto Perez. Immediately, we start learning who is Adalberto Perez. We start digging into his financial, to his phone records. The cell towers that his phone used, we were able to trace his whereabouts from South Florida, heading up to North Carolina, right where the robbery occurred, and then turning around and then appearing back down in South Florida after the robbery. And we were able to come up with another name, Roberto Cabrera. 4th grade education, but was able to come up with this elaborate plan and build these elaborate tools.
They had Cabrera, they had Perez, but they still had one more suspect to identify.
When we were talking to Roberto Cabrera and debriefing him about the robbery, he finally gave us the name of Pedro Santa Maria. Who is Pedro Santa Maria? He was like a ghost. The addresses he had came back to nothing. He had over 50 aliases. He'd been arrested countless times. So with the fingerprints, we're able to start tying all these aliases and all these different names of individuals who committed crimes, and we find out that it's all been committed by the same person. We don't know what he did with all the gold. They split the gold up into thirds. 3 1/3 gold bars, you're talking about $1.5 to $1.75 million worth of gold. Adalberto Perez and Roberto Cabrera both cooperated with us and ultimately were convicted and sentenced. Pedro Santamaria is the only one in this case that still hasn't been held accountable for what he did that day. Pedro had actually been spotted in Mexico back in 2019. Weren't able to get our hands on him at the time. I'm fairly confident that he's still in the Mexico-Texas border area.
We definitely got to get this guy to bring him to justice, because what he done to these victims is not something that should be allowed. Plus, this guy has $1 million of gold, which he shouldn't have in his possession.
Now we're joined by someone who has completely reformed themselves and knows firsthand how these types of heists work. Former jewelry store robber and now criminal educator, Brian Sobolewski. Brian, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
You actually served 3 years in prison for the crimes that you committed.
Correct.
But now you've turned your life around and you actually educate the public and even law enforcement on how these types of criminals operate.
I was convicted of armed robbery. I was convicted of larceny, and I was convicted of conspiracy.
How long did you do that for?
We robbed 22 stores over 5 years. We probably did about 3 a year.
So mostly jewelry stores?
All jewelry stores.
All jewelry stores. Yep. How are you helping law enforcement now?
At first, it was almost by mistake, because anytime somebody did a robbery that was like ours, I would get questioned. So they would sit me down and say, here's the job. How would you guys do it? And they tried to, be tough with me, but after a while, they realized they didn't have to. I was happy to help them out if they needed it.
Now, authorities say these guys got away with more than $5 million in gold and silver. How do you think they were able to pull this off? I mean, that's a lot of gold.
Yeah, planning. It's planning, it's a dry run, it's going over it again and again and again, and it's having people that know this industry.
Now, somebody has a gold bar. Can you melt it down, and will jewelers buy it from you?
I've never seen a gold bar, and all the gold that I've seen, they're very distinctive. You can't go into a jewelry store and, hey, can you show me the gold bars?
Yeah.
Once you have it melted down and turn it into jewelry.
But you got to know how to do that.
You have to, and you have to have a tight circle of people that you trust.
Who do you learn that from?
It's a good question. You either do it by trial and error and then end up doing some time. I used to call prison university, because if you're not in there to reform yourself, you're going to learn how to do your crime and the mistakes that you made, and probably go out and do it again.
Now, in this case, 2 out of the 3 suspects were caught. They obviously made some mistakes. How do you think Santamaria has been able to avoid law enforcement for this long?
He's smart. He has a very tight-knit group of people. If he has multiple identities, I can make up a name right now and ask you to call me that name, but I need a license. That's very difficult to do, and you don't trust multiple people to do that.
If you could say something to the suspect we're looking for, Santamaria, what would you say to him?
Oh boy, you're in a heap of trouble. And as you look forward down the road, you're looking at them breathing down your neck, and that circle gets tighter because of the show. And I'll tell you, I was on the run for a year. Hated it.
It is.
I didn't drive my car once out of the front windshield. I was looking in the back windshield the whole time. Yeah. It's miserable. It took years off my life.
Well, let me ask you, did you ever think you'd be on America's Most Wanted? You're on it.
No, absolutely. Well, I was so excited because I started watching it in prison. The inmates get quiet. They said, mostly because they want to see if they know anybody on there.
America's Most Wanted was the #1 show in prison.
You're a legend in prison. I'm honored you called me a dirtbag. So I'm honored to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here, that you've turned your life around.
Thanks, John.
And you're doing something very, very positive.
I appreciate that.
So we need to catch this guy tonight, but thanks for the help.
You're welcome. I'm glad
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, John.
All right.
Pedro Santamaria is a black Hispanic male who is 5'7", and when last seen was bald and weighed 180 pounds. He's now 61 years old with brown eyes and may have black hair. He has a noticeable scar on his left forearm. He used up to 50 different aliases in the past, so he might be going by a different name. His prior arrests include robbery and aggravated assault. If you see Pedro Santamaria, do not approach him. He's considered armed and very dangerous. Call us or go to our website immediately.
Up next, 14-year-old Abel Acosta allegedly opened fire in a Texas convenience store, firing 20 rounds in 9 seconds and taking the lives of 3 innocent teenagers. But first, did this crime happen in your community? Disturbing footage out of Arizona tonight. A serial bank robber, often dressed in scrubs, who held up 3 banks in 4 months. Starting on August 12th at approximately 10:45 a.m., watch Dr. Dirtbag leave Chase Bank at 1821 East Guadalupe Road. after handing the teller a note stating that he was armed with a gun. He does it again on October 6 around 9:55 a.m. at the U.S. Bank located on 1 North McDonald in Mesa, Arizona. And again, November 3rd around 9 a.m. when he returns to that Chase Bank in Tempe. This time he verbally demands the cash box, apparently holding here what I guess you'd call a handgun. Then, impatient, climbs over the counter to get it himself. He's described as a black male, aged 25 to 30 years old, 5'10" to 6 feet tall, weighing around 220 pounds. Take notice of the tattoos on his arms and the earring in his right ear. Look familiar? If you have any information on this creep, call us or go to our website, 866-AMW-TIPS, or at amwtips.com. Welcome back to America's Most Wanted. You know, I want to use this program to not only find fugitives, but to find the many, many missing children that are out there and get them home to their families where they belong. So, have you seen Andrew Escobar? He's been missing since last June 25th. Andrew is 11 years old with brown hair and brown eyes. He's 4'11" and last known to weigh around 95 pounds. He likes to play chess and rock climb. While Andrew was last seen in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, family tells us he may now be in northern Colorado, specifically the Evans and Greeley area. So if you've seen Andrew, please call us right now, 866-AMW-TIPS, or go to amwtips.com. Let's find this little boy. Cal, back to you.
In 2021, 14-year-old Abel Acosta walked into a Garland convenience store and opened fire. Within seconds, 3 were dead, 1 was injured, and with the help of his father, Acosta was gone. Authorities now need your help to locate and apprehend this alleged murderer, to put him behind bars where he belongs. We're going to talk with Yuneli Lopez,
How y'all doing?
the
Push
mother
that like
of one of
button.
the
Show me
murdered
some
teenagers in that convenience store. With so many young people involved, we know that this content is sensitive, so please know, this footage could be upsetting for some.
I want to see this.
Hello, George. Can you mute the music?
All right.
Thank you, George.
For what? How y'all doing?
Lisa 2024, all electric ID4S
Jay.
for $189 a month. Limited inventory available.
Citrus is the it girl of the season.
There's a lot of people like Puffy in the music business. Exposing Puffy means expose.
It's the day after Christmas 2021 in Garland, Texas, a town just outside Dallas, and unfortunately for that community, any sense of holiday cheer is about to disappear.
How you doing? Come on in, push that like button.
Police say that's when the actions of a 14-year-old, Abel Acosta, and his father, Richard Acosta Jr., destroyed the lives of 3 local families forever. On December 26th, into an argument with another teenager named Abel Acosta. The argument was possibly over a necklace. Cops say Abel's father helped his son track down Raphael and Ivan by driving him to the convenience store that night, even going so far as to walk inside to possibly see where Raphael and Ivan were. Watch as the 14-year-old suspected murderer leaves his father's truck and creeps into position with his gun drawn. Then, in a matter of seconds, the teenage murder suspect unleashes a deadly barrage of gunfire. Abel Acosta runs to his father's getaway vehicle, and they both flee the scene. Both Raphael and Ivan tragically died that night, and so did another boy who had never met any of the teenagers, a 14-year-old named Xavier Gonzalez, seen here on his phone. Xavier had simply gone to the store that night to pick up some food for his family.
He went for the tacos and then he came back. Me and my family, it's not the same no more. We don't have them here, and it's not fair.
The next next day, Abel Acosta's accused getaway driver, his own father, Richard Acosta Jr., turned himself in and was eventually convicted on capital murder charges for his part in the killing of 3 teenage boys.
Abel Acosta's family members helped him get away. They're not cooperating with us.
This investigation will not sleep until we actually get that person off the street.
And now Xavier's family are hoping for that one tip that will bring them justice.
Somebody's helping him out there. It's not fair how they took my son's life away.
He was a really smart little kid. He always had a smile. Always.
3 teenage boys lost their lives that night. One of them, 14-year-old Xavier Gonzalez, had never even met Abel Acosta. His mother, Uneli Lopez, is here with us tonight. Uneli, thank you for joining us. And
thank you very much.
It really breaks my heart to see such a pointless murder.
Thank you.
Now, Xavier was just 14 years old, the youngest of the 3 that were murdered that day. Tell us about your son.
He was a good student. He will help me out a lot with my daughters. He will help my husband a lot working. And everything you would ask him, he would do it. He will help out.
Sounded like a good kid.
Yes, he was.
This occurred just the day after Christmas. What have the holidays been like since his passing?
They've been awful holidays for us. It's not the same no more at all. Our Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, birthdays, it's not the same no more. It's just that he was the one that would keep us all happy, laughing, joking around.
Now, take us back to when you found out what had happened that day.
He wanted some tacos from the corner. Tried to call him. He wouldn't pick up. He was always picking up on the first call. That's where I kind of got concerned. When we got there, I took off running to the gas station. They didn't let me go into the gas station at all. And that's when I turned around and I saw my sister, and I went over there to her and I asked her, Xavier, he's gone. And I was like, no, it's not true. She was like, yeah, he's gone. And I was like, no, it's not true. And they were asking me what kind of clothes he had. And that's when they told me that it was him there. And he passed away.
He's your angel now, you know that. Didn't want to make you cry, but I wanted you to come here and give you some hope. That's what this show's about, hope. You know, I was going to ask you what you would say to somebody that knows where this creep is.
To please turn him in. Don't stay quiet. Stop hiding him.
We'll find that bad guy.
Thank you very much for everything that you have done, and I hope they do get him.
God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uneli. Be on the lookout for Abel Acosta. The crime happened in Garland, Texas, where some of his family still resides. Authorities believe there may also be a family ranch near Llano de Bustos, Veracruz, Mexico. The Acosta family may have other ties to Acapulco and Juarez, Mexico. Abel Acosta is now 16 years old. He's a Hispanic male with brown eyes and brown hair. When last seen, he was 5'5" and weighed 125 pounds.
Now let's find this guy. If you've seen Abel Acosta or have any information about this case, whether you're in the U.S. or across the border in Mexico, contact us right now at 866-AMW-TIPS or go to amwtips.com. I've said it a million times. You can run, but you can't hide. Now, when we come back, we're going to review all of the cases and the dangerous fugitives that you saw tonight. But first, can you help us solve this crime alert? You're about to watch disturbing footage of a home burglary in Tacoma near 33rd and Mason. Even more disturbing, the suspects left the scene only 15 minutes before the homeowners returned. The female burglar approaches the front door and knocks to see if anyone is home, while her partner is casing the side and back of the home. After being inside for over 30 minutes, cameras captured her partner leaving the residence with multiple bags of stolen goods. He loads the stolen items into the getaway truck. 2021 or newer gray Toyota Tacoma, which included jewelry, personal documents, including a birth certificate, and a debit card that they used for $1,000 at Dick's Sporting Goods. If you've seen these suspects in the Tacoma area, don't hesitate and contact us right now. Send your tips to 866-AMW-TIPS or at amwtips.com. Terrifying home footage that no one ever wants to see. 3 men following a Texas man and his stepson home from a bank in an attempted jugging crime near Dallas last September. Now watch as the man pulls into his driveway around 1 p.m. and the suspects block his car with their SUV. These jerks jump out, handguns drawn, and swarm the victim's vehicle, attempting to open the doors while pounding on the windows, demanding that he give it up. Unbelievably, one of the suspects tries to break the driver's side window with his elbow, but the victim has another plan and hits the gas, the suspect still holding on to his doors, forcing these losers to let go and retreat to their vehicle empty-handed. Jugging possibly originated from the slang term jug, which means a large sum of money. It's an increasingly popular crime where criminals follow their victims as they leave a bank or ATM after withdrawing cash. And it's happening more and more. Here's another shocking video of a jugging that took place in Plant City, Florida, also last September. This cell phone video taken by a witness shows a man climbing out of a pickup that he broke into to grab the manila envelope that you can see him holding here, containing the victim's cash. Police say the suspect may have followed the female victim who was making a withdrawal from the Bank of America. He was seen leaving the area in a silver Honda Pilot with the Florida tag B5DNZF. If you know anything about these incidents or these suspects, please contact us right now. 866-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com. Remember, you're our partner in this, so if you have any tips, big or small, about the cases you saw tonight, please contact us immediately. Kevin Anderson is 65 years old, brown hair and blue eyes. He's 6 feet tall, and his last known weight was around 200 pounds. Anderson is an avid outdoorsman and may be living off the grid in a wooded area in the northern Midwest. If you see him, do not approach him. He's considered armed and very dangerous.
Pedro Santamaria is 5'7" with brown eyes, and at the time he was last seen, was bald and weighed 180 pounds. He's a black Hispanic male who's 61 years old and may have black hair. He also has a scar on his left forearm. He's originally from Cuba, so there's some speculation that he has returned to his home country. There's a reward of $10,000 for information that leads to his arrest.
Abel Acosta is a 16-year-old Hispanic male with brown eyes and brown hair. When last seen, he was 5'5" and weighed about 125 pounds. His last known location was Garland, Texas. If you live in Texas or in Mexico, we gotta get this alleged murderer off the streets as soon as possible.
If you see any of these fugitives in public, do not approach them. Contact us at 866-AMW-TIPS or amwtips.com.
Coming up next week on America's Most Wanted, a Texas woman survives a savage knife attack with the help of a quick-thinking 911 operator.
I've got blood all over me.
Now police need your help to find the monster responsible.
I'm Kevin.
Hello everyone, I'm John Walsh, and this is America's Most Wanted. You know, I gotta say that I'm thrilled to be back. After my 6-year-old son Adam was abducted and murdered in 1981, I dedicated my life to giving a voice to the voiceless, helping victims of senseless crimes get the justice that they and their family.
When I was younger, my calling was to play football. But as I grew older, I realized life isn't about...
is trying so hard to make sure she didn't die in vain. But I gotta say one thing personally, congratulations on the pregnancy. I think one of the things that helped Reve and I heal our broken hearts after Adam was murdered was the birth of our daughter Megan. But justice is an important part of this equation, so let's focus in on Bernie Figueroa. She's a native Honduran. She speaks no English and she doesn't drive. As you heard, cops believe she may have crossed the border into Mexico, but she still may be hiding in Texas or anywhere in the southwestern United States. So if you've seen this woman, you've got to leave your tip at our website, amw.com, or call our hotline, 1-800-CRIME-TV.
Later tonight, a bowling alley becomes a scene of terror.
Us, we didn't do nothing.
No!
But the kids?
Tonight, Help us hunt down the monsters behind a massacre.
Murder and mayhem are the key words in tonight's All Points Bulletin. The Hoe Avenue Deli in the Bronx was a lively place and a popular hangout. Jessica Gonzalez was one of the regulars.
She was just like a very outgoing person, full of life.
It was here while shopping that she met Muamir Aldalam, who worked behind the counter. He was an immigrant from Yemen. She, a sassy Puerto Rican girl from the neighborhood.
She was a deli worker, he was a deli worker, and maybe that's how the friendship, began between them.
Their friendship blossomed into a relationship, but there were problems from the beginning. Aldalam was possessive.
She would let him know, I'm young, I like to go out, I like to party. I don't want to be held down right now.
In the early morning hours of December 22nd, 2007, Jessica drove to Aldalam's job at the deli to break off their relationship.
Mike came out, I guess, to confront Jessica.
There was a brief conversation with both of them right here inside the car. After the verbal arguments, he produced a pistol and he shot her one time in the head.
Police say Aldalam then turned his gun on a friend of Jessica's, killing him too. Since the murders, Aldalam has been spotted in an Arab American community near Detroit and with Yemeni relatives in Utica, New York. He has a receding hairline and discolored teeth. He speaks English well, but with an accent. If you know where Muamir Aldalam is hiding out, call our hotline. This teenager, who we'll call Anna, hides her identity because she lives in fear of a man. The same man who should be protecting her, Pedro Fajardo, Anna's father. For years, cops say, Fajardo ran a disgusting business, smuggling humans from Mexico.
There would be like 12 people in the house. They would sleep in the living room, sometimes inside my room, in my sister's room.
And when Fajardo's family confronted him, Anna says he became abusive toward Bernardina, her mother.
And then my mom got mad. Well, I have children here, and what if I got raped? What if my sister got raped? Supposedly, I hit her.
Finally, Bernardina had enough. She and her kids packed up their belongings and moved out, but Fajardo refused to accept it. On the night of October 15, 2008, cops say he showed up at their doorstep in Duncanville, Texas. Before Bernardina opened the door, she handed Anna a cell phone.
She told me, just in case your dad hits me, please call the police, call them. And I was ready with my phone with 911 on it.
Unfortunately, Anna had to make that 911 call.
Hello, 911, do you have an emergency? Why do I get shot my mom? Please help me. Did you say your dad shot your mom?
Fajardo fled after the murder. He hasn't been seen since, but might still be in Texas. Police think he might be living with his girlfriend and her 2 sons. Fajardo uses the alias Tony O. Is an avid soccer player and loves nothing more than a cold Corona. If you know where this monster's hiding, call right now. When Tam Pham moved to San Diego to attend college, he thought he'd found the perfect place to live.
I feel really safe. It's home sweet home.
Tam had 2 roommates, but they're not the people seen going in and out of his house in this security video. Cops say this is a home invasion crew. On October 17, 2008, they turned Tam's home sweet home into a prison, taking him and his roommates hostage. Then they sadistically threatened their lives.
I thought I was gonna die.
Thankfully, Tam's torturers didn't carry through on their threat, but the nightmare was far from over. When the man and woman who owned the house walked in on the home invasion, they were ambushed. The attackers raped the woman, but when they left her alone for a moment, she managed to call 911, sending police racing to the scene.
I remember I said, oh God, I was really happy.
Cops immediately rounded up 2 suspects, but one member of the gang is still running free. Cops identify him as Tommy Nguyen, and they need your help to track him down. Nguyen is a pint-sized 5'2". He works in construction as a framer. He could be hiding out in California, Texas, or Mexico. If you know where Tommy Nguyen is hiding tonight, please call our hotline at 1-800-CRIME-TV. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Coming up.
2 men came in and took my carefree childhood away from me.
A day of unspeakable terror. A horrible memory that will never fade. But you can help these survivors finally get some justice.
Believe me, crime survivors go through hell. They so often live with fear. Sometimes the guilt of why they survived and others didn't. And anger every day. And over, the questions keep coming back. Why? Why did it happen? The survivors you're about to meet have had to live with those nagging feelings for almost 20 excruciating years. But tonight, we got to help them regain another very strong emotion. Hope. 20 years have come and gone, but Ida Hogene's haunting memories linger every day.
It's still there. I mean, I think of it from when I wake up to when I go to sleep.
Her nightmare began February 10th, 1990. That morning, she headed to her job as a cook at Las Cruces Bowl in Las Cruces, New Mexico. 12-year-old Melissa, whose grandfather owned the bowling alley, spent her days running around the lanes with a friend. Her mother ran the popular business.
Ida, we're hungry. Please make us some enchiladas. I love your green enchiladas.
Well, sweetie, I'm really busy right now. I mean, look at we've set up for all those people that are coming for the tournament. Do you know what? I'll make something for you later, okay? I promise.
Let's get candy then. Gummy bears.
That morning, Melissa's and Ida's world would change forever.
2 men came in and took my carefree childhood away from me.
I felt something on the side and I looked down, it was a gun. And they told me, come with me. This is the holdup.
They pulled their guns out and they told me to go back to where I came from. And I did.
Mama, hold on a minute.
And I was in the office where my mom was doing the daily deposit. And they told us all to get on the floor, put our heads down.
The robbers had what they came for, all of the bowling alley's money. That's what makes what happened next so unexplainable.
We had our heads down. And I remember picking it up twice because I heard noise. When they shot me in the head, I thought my head exploded. It was so loud. I really thought my head exploded.
And I don't know why, but I put my hands on my head. And I think that's what saved my life. The bullets just skimmed my head. And they didn't penetrate.
There would be even more unexplainable violence to come. At 8 a.m. that morning, the alley's mechanic, Steve Turan, showed up for work.
Where's Stephanie?
He had his 2 young daughters with him, 6-year-old Paula and 2-year-old Valerie.
Ida.
He had no idea what they were walking into.
Every bottle of McCormick is flavor sealed. For fresh flavor, everyone notices.
Everybody dies.
Some of us peacefully in our sleep.
When the temperature drops, you've got two choices. Close your eyes and think warm thoughts, or open your eyes and get out here. There's only one vehicle lineup that embraces everything the cold has to offer. The official vehicles of winter. Jeep.
I didn't know who was alive or not. All I knew was I was bleeding and I needed help.
As the robbers fled with their take of $5,000, Melissa painfully hoisted herself up to a desk and called 911.
Please come to Las Cruces Bowl.
Help, please. How many people are hurt? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people are hurt. Yes, I think. The wounds in my head. It hurts.
Melissa's phone call saved her own life, her mother's, and Ida's. But nothing could be done to save Steve and his daughters, and Melissa's 13-year-old friend, Amy Hauser.
Why the kids? Us? Well, I mean, we didn't do nothing to them either. We didn't do nothing. But the kids?
Melissa and Ida helped police create composites of the suspects, but over the past 20 years, no names have been attached to the faces. Faces that Melissa and Ida will never forget. As the case went cold, most other people's memories of it faded, until just a few weeks ago.
Can I please have 2 tickets to The Nightmare in Las Cruces? Thank you.
That's when a new documentary about the 1990 murders started playing at a local theater.
This is something that had been percolating in my head for 20 years.
Filmmaker Charlie Min first heard about the murders shortly after they occurred in 1990.
She looks towards her right, and when she goes to her right, the camera pans ever so slowly and stops.
At the time, he was a college student in Boston studying broadcast journalism. Those memories compelled him to make the documentary.
I was completely floored by what I saw. I was struck. I was angered. I was deeply saddened by the degree of unfairness, by the barbaric nature of how children were executed.
Please help me.
Charlie still carries that anger today.
We were on